Today, in this international webinar, we're going to discuss on the topic of Sampratik Samaye Nitishatakasya Avashyakata. That means the necessity of Nitishataka in the present time, which is organized by Department of Sanskrit, Remuna Degree College. On this topic, I divided into 3 points. One is the history of Remuna, because this webinar organized by Remuna College, which is situated at Remuna. So I think we must discuss a little bit about history of Remuna. Second point, I am going to discuss about the writer of Nitishataka, the legendary Bhatrihari. And third point, the necessity of Nitishataka according in the present time. On the first point, the history of Remuna, according to my understanding, Remuna is a Punya Kshetra, very holy or sacred place, because Remuna is situated at Baleshwar. Odisha district is 5 kilometers from Baleshwar, and Remuna is a place where it was blessed by Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, and also blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was blessed by the 5 brothers, the Panchu Pandavas, and he also blessed by the Shakti Pitha in place of the Baladev Vidyabhushan and Sridhara Swami. So on the first point, that it blessed by the Lord Krishna, the incident goes to Treta Yuga, when Lord Rama with Mother Sita and Lakshman went to Banavas. Once Lord Rama saw a cowman tending his cows, and he was smiling. With his interest, Mother Sita asked Lord Rama why he is smiling, and Lord Rama told that in next avatar, in Dwapara Yuga, I am going to cowman and am going to tend the cows. Then Mother Sita want to know, and he told, please show me your next form. Then Lord Rama engraved an image of Sri Krishna on a black granite stone, and as soon as Goddess Sita touched her hands on the image, it came to life. And later, when Lord Rama, Mother Sita left Chitrakuta, he said the Lord Brahma was worshipping that Lord Krishna's Murti. In 13th century, the Langula Narasinghadev wanted to bringing that Murti to Jagannath Puri, but that Murti, Lord Krishna desire, I want to stay in Remuna. On that way, Remuna is blessed with Lord Krishna and is known as a Gupta Vrindavan. And second point also there, when Lord Rama killed Ravana and coming to Ayodhya, Lord Rama was staying at Remuna because the place was very Ramaniya. That's why the place is known as Remuna. And Lord Rama was staying there. They're saying it 4 nights. Lord Rama was staying there. And Lord Rama shooted 7 arrows. And the river came, is known as Saptasara, 7 arrows. And also Lord Rama was worshipping the Grama Devata. Grama Devi is known as Rama Chandi. So that way this place is known, blessed by the Lord Rama. So now point came, how old the Remuna will be. Because if you look our astrology, Rama was in the end of the Treta Yuga. So after Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga came. The time of Dwapara Yuga was 864,000 years. And now we are in Kali Yuga. We passed Kali Yuga 5,122 years according to Indian Panchang. So in total, the age of Remuna, or the age of that Murtis, the Gopinath Murti, will be 869,122 years according to Indian Panchang. Then also, as I told, the Remuna is place of Tribeni Sangam, which is Gangahara, Balanga and Sono, and Rishi Angirasa Muni had Siddhi on that place, and he was teaching the Pippalada Sakha of the Atharva Veda, and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated by his guru Madhavendra Puri on Remuna, and also the Panchu Pandava with their Banavas, they came to their Bhimeshwara. So the place is blessed by the Panchu Pandavas. The Panchu Pandavas who are the form of Indras, and Draupadi is the form of Indrani. And also that there's Devi Pitha is there, Ashtadasa Bhuja, Durga in Remuna, and also place of Baladeva Vidyabhushan and Sridhara Swami. So in that way, Remuna is a blessed and very historic place. On this occasion, I can request the principal of Remuna Degree College, if we can make a small museum in college, our young generation, they will know the history of Remuna. And second also, on this platform, I can request the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Fakirman University. It will be nice if we write our own history. So if with the combined of Department of History, Department of Geology, and also Department of Sanskrit, because when we writing our history, we must look into our itihas like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Purana, and also we can take the local community with the four combination. If we write our own history, then we will know our past. As I mentioned now, according to Indian Panchang, the Remuna's place history is 870,000 years. So because according to Panchang, our Ramayana, our Mahabharata, our Purans. So I think we must, the Fakirman University must take a role model that we must write our own history in our place, and that history should be go in the college, so our young generation, they will know our own history, and that will bring confidence within us, and that will bring the, you can see that it will be bring tourism also, because lots of places in Baleshwar which got very old history according to our Ramayana and Mahabharata. So with that, the second point I am going to discuss about the Bhatrihari, who is the author of the Nitishatakam. There is no authentic chronology about Bhatrihari. It is very difficult to say anything concrete either of Bhatrihari's life or his poetical works. Today he is almost a legendary figure, but tradition speaks of the poet Kalidasa and Bhatrihari as being contemporaries. Critics even say Bhatrihari was an elder brother of King Vikramaditya, to whom he transferred his crown. It says Bhatrihari is the author of Nitishataka, Srungara Shataka, and Vairagya Shataka. If you look at the Nitishataka, Nitishataka will bring success to our life, Srungara Shataka make our life more meaningful, and Vairagya Shataka will lead towards God, to realize the God, which is the goal of our Indian culture or Dharma culture. Nitishataka means comprised of 100 verses, but what is available to us today is more than 100 in each Shatakas. So here Nitishataka means not less than 100, is 100 or more than 100. Nitishataka has the touch of Bhatrihari's genius. Nitishataka contains high ethical thought or worldly wisdom on brief criticism on aspect of our life. So we can say Nitishatakam will teach us the art of successful living. On the necessity of Nitishataka in the present time, we will surprise that Sri Aurobindo also wrote a poetical translations in English of Nitishataka called as the Century of Life. So that means here, so Sri Aurobindo has a knowledge about Sanskrit. And according to Buddhendra, the commentator of the Nitishataka of Bhatrihari has classified Nitishataka into 10 sections called as Paddhatis. The first Paddhati is the Murkha Paddhati, means on fools and foolish. That means it says that we have to wise. I can give one example. There are 13 verses about the Murkha Paddhati on the fool and foolish. One is Sahitya Sangita Kalavihina Sakhyat Pashuhu Pucha Vishanahina Trinangna Khadanna Pijiva Manastad Bhagadheyam Paramam Pashunam. It says that as a human being, we must have an interest on the Sahitya means literature, Sangita means song, and Kala means art. If we don't have knowledge or interest on those topics, so we like animals without tail, without horn. So here what happened, that Nitishatakam also encourage us, we must learn our art, our culture, our literature, and that is helpful for every individual life. And second point, he described as a Vidvat Paddhati, means on the wisdom. There is 17 verses on the glory of the wisdom. Like they saying, Vidyanaman rasya rupam adhikam prachanna guptam dhanam vidya bhogakari yashah sukhakari vidya gurunam guruhu vidya bandhujana videshu gamane vidya paradevata vidya rajyasu pujyate natu dhanam vidya hinah pasu. So here what saying, the importance of vidya. They saying vidya is the more precious than the somebody's beauty, and also vidya is the secret wealth, and vidya also help us to enjoy our life. It gives us fame, it gives us happiness, and vidya is the gurunam guru, the teachers of the teachers. And for the vidya we get respect in the society and every part of the world. So here in 14 verses in Nitishatakam, it glorifies the importance of the vidya or knowledge or education, which also inspire to the society for study and for the educations. And also there Manas Shaurya Paddhati on pride and heroism. There is 10 verses about the pride and heroism, which is very essential in our life. It encourages, we must practice the quality of the heroism. Then also Artha Paddhati, the 13 verses about Artha Paddhati, about the importance of the wealth, because when sometimes we are behind of the knowledge, then we sometimes neglect the wealth. So here in the Nitishatakam remind us the wealth also very important. As one verses it say, Yasyasti vittam sanarah kulina sapanditah sa shrutavan gunagya Soeva bhakta sachadarshaniya sarve gunaha kanchanamastrayanti. That means all the quality follow the wealth. That means if somebody is wealthy or rich, people say he got all kind of qualities. It's very visible in the present world now. If somebody is rich, we praise whether he have a knowledge or not. But if somebody got money, he got all kind of qualities. So here also the wealth play a vital role in our life. We mustn't neglect. So that's 13 verses describe the importance of the wealth. Then also other point was Durjana Paddhati on the wicked persons. That means when we live in this society, we face many wicked persons. How to deal with them? So that is it. There's an art. And there is 10 verses how to deal with wicked person. One example is Durjanaha parihartabhyo vidyayalang krutopisan manina bhushitaha sarpa kima sauna bhayankara. That means he's saying we must ignore the wicked person, although he must be well educated. One example they're giving a snake. If there is lots of precious stones on the snake, still that snake is very harmful. So as we avoid the snake, on that way we always stay far away from the wicked persons. Otherwise it make very difficult to our life. The next point is divide into Sujana Paddhati, Paropakara Paddhati, means on the virtue. There are 17 verses that glorifying the virtue, the moral values is one example. Srotram srutaneva cha kundalena danena panir natukankanena vibhatikayah karuna paranam paropokare natu chandanena. That means the saying the real ornament of the ear is not hearing but listening the scriptures. That they're not saying we mustn't wear earring, but what they're saying, we must hear our scriptures, the good shastras, and that will help to lead a peaceful and successful life. And also they're saying the real ornament of the hand is not bangle but the dana. to give the donations, because when you give the donations, it purifies our hearts, it brings peace to our mind, it helps the other peoples or the society. So here, so they giving the practice of the virtue, which is 17 verses in the Nitishatakam, which will be very, very beneficial to the society. Then also, next point is Dharya Paddhati, on the firmness. That is 17 verses about the firmness. Because if we want to be success in our life, we must be firm in our principles, our rules and righteous paths. The one example I can give is written there, Nindantu nitinipuna yadiva stuvantu lakshmi sama visantu gachatu va yatheshtam addeva va maranamastu yugantare va nyayat patah pravichalanti padam na dhira. That means that dhira, the firmness people, they never ever far from the righteous path. They always follow the righteous path, whether the great people like admire them or criticize them, whether they became poor or rich, whether they die today or in future, but they always stick to the righteous path, and which is the key to success of our life. That is on the firmness, the 17 verses about the firmness in the Nitishataka. Then also next point is Daiva Paddhati, on the fate. There is 6 verses on the fate. Sometimes what happens, we maybe try our best, we maybe study enough, but we can't get the result what we wanted, what we want, because it depends upon the fate also. The one example is given on the Nitishataka. Neta yasya bruhaspatihi praharanam vajram sura sainikaha swargo durgamanugraha khalu hare airavata varanaha ittheir swaryabala nitopi balavid bhagnaha parehi sangare tadvyaktam nanudaiva meva saranam dhik dhik britha paurusam. That means the giving example of the Lord Indra. The guru of Lord Indra is Bruhaspati, and his weapon is Vajra, and his army are the gods, and he lives at Swarga, where it is very difficult to go, and his vehicle is Airavata, but still he troubled by his enemies. So here they are saying, you may have all kind of protection, all kind of equipment, still if your fate is not with you, you will have problems in life. So you have to accept the fate, which will give moral power to live in difficult time or troubled times. So his fate is there also. There were 6 verses about the glorifying of the fate. And other also they describe the karma paddhati, on the karma, because the concept of karma is the gift of Indian culture or dharma culture to the world. There's 9 verses about the karma, like our previous birth karma also affect in this life. Then one example is there, Neiva kriti phalati, Neiva kulam nashilam, vidyapi neiva nacha yatna kritapi seva, bhagyani purva tapasa khalu sanchitani, kale phalanti purushasya yatheva vriksha. That means saying, although you are born from a good family, you have a good conduct, although you are well educated, still sometimes we can't the result what we wanted, because that is depend upon in our action of the previous life. So here also encourage us, we must always do righteous work, good karma, that will also help in this life and the next life. So here also it will help to lead a very peaceful life by the concept of the karma, which is described in the Nitishataka. And there is also Prakirna Sloka, the verses describing other different topics. There is 25 different verses is there. So in total, that Nitishataka got about 128 verses. I can say this is not only important in the present time, is important forever, because it gives us moral strength and it teaches us the way of successful living. On that way, I can say Nitishataka is always helpful, not only Indians but throughout the world who will read the Nitishataka, definitely they will get benefit in their life. With that, I like to thank the Sanskrit department of Remuna Degree College for organizing this wonderful international webinar on the topic of Sampratika Samay Nitishatakasya Avashyakata. And also I thank Honorable Vice Chancellor of Fakirwan University to inaugurate this international webinar. Thank you so much. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. Jayatu Bharatam, Jayatu Sanskritam, Jayatu Dharma.